Hey, what it do, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. So for everybody who watched the last video, you guys know we got this absolute unit of a golf cart, the 3-wheeled Harley Davidson. It is this close to being done, but it needs new tires and maybe new wheels. I don't know yet. So we're gonna run into town, see what we can find, see what Tractor Supply has to offer. Realistically, I should not even be working on this. I need to be working on this. But as I pulled it in here, this thing's just kind of in the way. And like I said, we're this close to this thing being done. So we're gonna go ahead and check this project off the list today. We're gonna get this thing done and out of here so I can go ahead and actually pull the Peterbilt up and dedicate the proper time and resources that I need on. So most of the video is gonna be focused on this bad boy right here and seeing if it can actually do any work. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's go ahead and jump into it and let's roll. But I can't imagine there's gonna be a whole lot of difference and variations of go ahead and try and fit these things into the new wheels, but let me go ahead and... So I guess now's a better time than ever to, let's see if it actually moves. Here we go. All right, so I ended up finding an old piece of tongue and groove. I did find a piece of 1/2-inch PVC. Man, she is having a hard time right now. All right, we'll just pulled up to Tractor Supply. Let's go ahead and run inside and see what we can find. All right, well, we got these skinny looking wheelbarrow tires, which are actually a boat trailer tire, but I think it's the same lug pattern. Might work. But as we come a little bit farther down the aisle, you guys can see we got these gems right here. See, we got 18 by 9.5 by 8. Yeah, that's it right there. So I'm really hoping that these are the same lug pattern. If they're not, I think I'll bring them back and just switch them out for the tires, because the tires are a little bit cheaper than buying the wheel and tire. But then that'll have to get pushed back to another day. So let's just cross our fingers that everything is the way it's supposed to be, because those other wheels are pretty trash. But you know, what'd be even cooler is if the hubcap that was on there lined up with these wheels too. But we won't know until we get back. All right, I just pulled back into the ranch. Now, if I'd have been like on my A game, I would have measured the distance between the holes right there. Then we could have known for sure before we picked these things up. But I can't imagine there's gonna be a whole lot of difference and variations of lawnmower tires and what may have been used on this thing. So not that it's a huge issue, but my rolly chair is stuck over there for the time being. So we're going to commandeer this engine hoist, use it as a makeshift seat for the time being, and let's go ahead and see if these wheels are the same. Now, I have a ton of oddball stuff, but by far this is probably the goofiest thing that I own. You guys, I'm so excited that we're actually able to drive this here in just a little bit, and I'm fairly certain that these hubcaps will actually fit the wheels that we just picked up. I don't know for sure yet, but if for some reason I want them to look old and rusty like the rest of this thing, we can go ahead and try and fit these things into the new wheels. But let me go ahead and get this one switched out for the time being. But we're gonna go ahead and go for it. I'm gonna go ahead and see if these caps fit in there, which they definitely do not. The inside diameter in that is definitely a little smaller. Not the end of the world. If I really wanted to, I could probably get some like new clips like this. And I don't know, we can figure something out, but don't care enough. This thing is pretty much ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing set back down on the ground. We'll get the Peterbilt warming up so I can pull it out from behind this thing. And we'll throw our piece of plywood back on there, and we'll take it for a proper test drive this time and see how far we can actually get. So trying real hard to contain my excitement right now. It's full on like little kid on Christmas status, but it does roll much nicer now that we have the tires how they're actually supposed to be. So I think we're in reverse. So you ready to see if this thing will move? All right, should I go? Okay, here we go. So I guess now's a better time than ever to, let's see if it actually moves. Here we go. What do you think of that?
Good.
Good. Should we go forward now? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it definitely moves way better with tires that don't actually suck. So we're gonna go ahead and do a couple laps around the ranch, and then if everything goes like I think it will, we're gonna go ahead and pull this back in the shop, and we'll put a full sheet of plywood on here, maybe build the bed rails again, and actually finish this thing up and make it a working unit. So let's go ahead and go forward, and let's see how she goes. You guys, well, we just drove the heck out of this thing for about 15 minutes and it did great. So aside from being like obnoxiously loud, we did figure out a couple more, I don't want to say issues, but it's just kind of some weird stuff about this golf cart. Definitely goes in reverse way better than it goes forward. I don't know if it has to do with the rubber belt being in bad shape. We probably could use a new one of those, but like as soon as you step on it in reverse, you guys will hear how fast the engine kicks in and it starts moving. I'll go ahead and show you guys real quick. Whereas when you want to go forward, it takes like, I don't know, sometimes 10 or 15 seconds to engage and get going. So let's see how well it goes now. And it's not near as peppy when it starts going forward. When you're in reverse, you almost have to like hold on. But not super concerned about it. I think it's good enough to go ahead and merit dedicating a piece of plywood to the actual platform or the flatbed part of this. And I think we may cut this one up and put it on the front right here with a little notch where that handle is. And maybe it'll help redirect some of the sound so it's not as loud. It's almost like ring your ears loud. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what wood I can find to actually bolt down on this thing. I guess we could take a quick measurement and see if it's actually 4 feet. My luck, it's gonna be like 4.5 feet, and then we'll have to like hodgepodge, mix stuff together. But let's just cross our fingers that it isn't. Let's see, we got inside. Oh, it's even less. We got 47 inches. And I'm about 99% sure that this is not 8 feet, but we're gonna go ahead and measure it anyways. I'm guessing 6 something. Oh, it's not even 6. We're a hair under 6 feet. So if I can find a full sheet of plywood, that's gonna take care of that, no problem. Now, whether or not I have one is another story, so I'm gonna have to start looking around real quick. All right, well, check it out. We found an entire sheet of plywood. We do need to rip off. I'm gonna go ahead and take off just a little bit more than 1 inch on this side. And then obviously we're gonna have to shorten it up a little bit. And this is a much thinner plywood than what we were sitting on right there. So seeing as this is not like a powerhouse of a machine, we're going for weight reduction. We're gonna go ahead and use this on the front of it as well. And like I said, I'm hoping it helps reduce the noise a little bit because that was almost like a little too much. So let me go ahead and get this ripped and shortened up a little bit. And then we'll take it for another little drive, see if it's any quieter. And then also, we're gonna throw a bale of hay on the back and see how it does moving hay, because bale of hay is probably about 70 to 80 pounds. And that's definitely gonna put this thing to work. I know it doesn't sound like much, but this is not a very strong unit. So we are gonna have to make sure that it can do what we actually want it to do before we like super commit into using this instead of the Ranger.
Give me a black motorcycle, give me playback on a vinyl and some cheap aviators from 65. Give me snakeskin boots, skull swaying like a noose.
All right, you guys ready to see what an absolute unit this thing is? Whew, look at that. Don't get much nicer than that. This thing is a hay carrying machine. Hopefully. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple screws in here. I'm guessing we'll just do 2 on each side. I don't know, are there cross members in here? Maybe. Not sure how crazy we want to get on this thing, but at least hold it down so it doesn't go anywhere. So I've been thumbing through my screws a little bit, and I definitely think a 2.5-inch screw is a little bit overkill, but this is all I could find right now. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 right here, and then we'll try and hide it going down into that tube. So that way we don't have a bunch of thread just like waiting to grab somebody. And then as far as this one goes, I don't know, I might just have to poke through a little bit. And I think on the back side, we'll probably just run it through and then grind it off.
I'll be clinging to the back of this Indian bag. Brass rings in the center and a wind with a red sunset going down.
Now, I don't like to brag, but occasionally I outdo myself. And this may be one of those circumstances. It's looking pretty good. I did end up finding some other screws that were a little bit shorter. I may drive that one in a little bit farther. It's sticking kind of high up, and I think that may cause some issues. So let me go ahead and drive that one in a little bit. You guys can see we got our front wall right there. We got the notch cut out so we can still kind of move this thing back and forth. I may have to trim this. I went ahead and put the floor mat back in, and it's given us some grief. I ended up just prying on it pretty hard like this for a while, and it seems to have flattened out a little bit to where we can go ahead and move that back and forth. So we can go ahead and put this back down. And I think she's good to go. All right, I took the washer off and just kind of drove it down a little bit. Is it as strong? No, but at least it's not gonna cut the back end of my legs. So let's go ahead and see if this thing's any quieter now that we kind of have a little bit of a noise wall right here. Take it for another little test drive. Reverse, here we go. It's still pretty loud. Man, she is bouncy in reverse. I don't understand why it makes a difference. I will say it's better though. It's not as loud with this little wall right here. Before I could like hardly stand it. All right. Well, it is a little bit quieter, which is an improvement. Is it still loud? Yeah. Could definitely use a new muffler still. But am I gonna worry about it? I don't know. So far we've got the new wheels and tires, which are great. We've got the flatbed all done. Now we need to go ahead and do the side rails so that when we do put up some hay up here, it's not falling off the side. So when I picked this thing up, it did have some very old bed rails on it, which I think are pretty much crumbling. So we're gonna go ahead and grab those. I think they just use like PVC and screwed wood to it. So yeah, as you guys can see, there's not much left of the initial boards that were there. It's all pretty rotten. They basically just use metal for the most part on some of them, PVC on some other ones. So we're gonna go ahead and take these all back into the shop. We're gonna try and retrofit or rebuild some new sideboards for it. So we're going for speed and efficiency today. So let's see if this one still fits in the back. Oh, perfect. Look, we don't even have to build one for the back. We just have to worry about the 2 sideboards now. So this one, you guys can tell, I think, let's go ahead and see. Fits pretty good. So I'm trying to decide if we want to do the sideboards all the way up, because realistically we're going to be the ones sitting up here, and I guess it could keep us from falling out, but it's going to be kind of inconvenient when we're getting in and out of this thing. And really it does not go super fast, so I'm not super concerned about us falling out, but I guess it is possible. But I'm kind of thinking we use that material right there because it's a little bit stronger, it's a little bit more sturdy than the OSB. And I imagine that getting pushed around more than this is. And I'm kind of thinking that we go ahead and redo all the posts. with just PVC. So we're gonna make it quick, easy. All right, so I ended up finding an old piece of tongue and groove, and I did find a piece of 1/2-inch PVC. I literally don't think this could be any easier. This stuff's like already trimmed to the right height. So we basically just need to, I think we'll come up to probably this line right here. And then we'll do the same on the other side. And we'll just go ahead and screw it into some PVC.
There's no lines on a gravel road, riding where nobody goes. And I'm addicted to his leather and smoke. Give me a black motorcycle, give me playback on a vinyl. It's some cheap aviators from 65. Give me snakeskin boots, gold swaying like a noose, and I'll be clinging to the back of this Indian bike. He is my nicotine, I'm his desert queen. Worn out bandana tied around my neck. Call it Bonnie and Clyde, a modern day ride or die. And I'm convicted, 25 to life.
All right, so I know this video's kind of all over the place, but we got a lot going on today. So anyhow, we're rolling around. The back portion of the bed is all done. We're gonna go ahead and throw some hay in here, but we're gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of driving around with it and see how it does. So I'm fairly certain there was some sort of rat's nest in there because it is definitely on fire right now. So this is gonna have to come off today. I don't know if that little orange flame that you guys saw showed up right now. That's bad news. So this is definitely gonna have to be rectified sooner than later. So I gotta go online tonight and see if we can find some sort of replacement muffler because it's definitely on fire. And hopefully this thing doesn't burn to the ground right now. All right, well, as far as suspension goes, we're not looking super bottomed out yet. We got about, I'd say 2/3 of a bale on there, which I'd say we go through about 1.5 bales per day. So that's about the most this thing's ever gonna need to carry in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and head on down to where the steers are, see how it does. But I don't see it really being too much of an issue. It's really not that much weight. It's gonna take its sweet time to get going again. All right, here we go. All right, so pit stop number 1 with our hay in the back. We're doing pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and break off just a little bit for this butt head right there. All right, we'll go ahead and feed all these guys real quick. Oh, there you go, Chaco. All right, well, the Harley Davidson golf cart has just successfully completed 1 round of feeding. We just got done feeding the last 2 animals here at the ranch, which means that it is officially a working unit and we can go ahead and put it into the fleet. So we got a couple things to figure out. The centrifugal clutch is still kind of having some issues. It has a hard time squeezing the belt, which in turn does not make it go forward very well. And it definitely struggles with going uphill. And then obviously the muffler catching on fire, that's bad news. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing back up to the shop to where we can kind of dig into it at a later date. But the next project that's going to take priority is the Peterbilt. So let me go ahead and get this thing back up to the shop, and then we'll go ahead and go over a couple things, and we'll probably wrap the video up. So I did just learn one more thing about this. It's definitely cold-blooded. It's been sitting outside for about an hour. It's a little bit chilly, and I've been trying to move for about the last, I don't know, 40, 45 seconds. The engine has not been firing over, and it just barely started popping from me stepping on the throttle. So you can hear the electric motor just spinning with an occasional pop, and that's because it's trying to get going. And there it goes. Finally gained traction. So here we go. Man, she is having a hard time right now. Struggling, it's moving, but definitely does not like the cold weather. All right, well, I don't think I've ever had such a short series on getting like an old piece of junk up and running. Literally took 2 videos. The first video was pretty short, and then the second one was not very long either. So I'm super glad to have the Harley Davidson golf cart up and working. But like I said in part 1, the Peterbilt definitely needs to get fixed this week. We pretty much put it down for the week, and so I got to have it up and running back by Monday, which means I got like 2 or 3 days to work on it. I don't think it's going to take that long, but I got to go ahead and get the shop cleaned out, and then we are going to be pulling the Peterbilt in here, and I got to get the tank dropped tonight. And then tomorrow I'll start thumbing around and trying to figure out how to reinforce that bracket so that this does not happen again. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself, and you guys will all see that in the next video. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws to this one. Thank you guys for watching. If you could do me a huge solid like, subscribe, share this video to amigos, hit that notification button down below so you guys can see the progress that we got with stuff on the Peterbilt. And I think I might even get a minute to work on that truck tomorrow. And if I can get it retimed, technically I think we might be able to roll it out of here. So I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow, but thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.